Citizen TV Kenya. We be champion this time. We are 5 stars.
Viva Brazil, Citizen TV Kenya.
Viva Brazil! Brazil!
You are watching Viva Brazil in Citizen TV Kenya.
Well, good afternoon. A lot of fun in the studio. Viva Brazil is on. If you're not watching, then tell whoever is not watching to tune into Citizen TV. We come to you all the way from Brazil to Kenya. You've heard them saying Viva Brasilia, Kenya. That is Raz Ndong's work in Brazil. Very nice guests in studio today. Today we have done in-house. Tumechukua watu kutoka hapa Citizen hapa ndani. And the first person I'm going to introduce is Chris Okinda, Hot 96.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, man? Great to be here.
Press play.
Press play now.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Mr. Waiga Maura.
Yes, Michael King.
Uko na nani huko?
Hapa niko na Lillian Muli. She's just done the news and she tells me she's a huge soccer fan, a fan of Brazil, but she doesn't have their jersey on. And she'll tell us why in just a bit. But she's very excited to be here and we're glad to have you, Lillian.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have so much fun.
Good.
Yes.
Good. We want to see how much football knowledge she has. So we'll be quizzing her in just a bit. But for now, we also have Sidi with another special guest and she'll be handling our social media as well. Sidi, what do you have?
Thank you, Waiga. Yes, I have a special guest. He told me to say he's special. Mr. MC Jesse himself. Oh, and also handsome, too. Special and handsome. And what's the other thing he told me?
Very, very, very charismatic.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very accentuated.
Okay, and all those.
Kama hiyo ya kizungu, naongeza kizungu mzito.
Sawa, nitaongeza kizungu mzito.
Ndio kuna watu wanatuangalia wengi sana.
So very exciting show we have planned for you on Viva Brazil. Remember, we're also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The hashtag we're using, MC Jesse has already used it, is Viva Brazil, and we're also taking in SMSs on 22422. There was a lot of action over the weekend, so give us your feedback on that. But right now, I'm going to hand you back over to Mr. Mike Okinyi.
Well, on the magic wall, this is what gives us the permutations on who has played, who has not played. Today, we are feeling very, very, very generous. 2 jerseys to go. I will not announce tomorrow. Today, at the end of the show today, we shall be giving 2 jerseys. Who has the best message for the World Cup? It's that simple. Give us your best message for the World Cup. We'll pick out 2 winners. 1 gentleman, 1 lady. And for the magic wall, this is where the action has been so far. We started with the group stages and we went to the round of 16 from match number 49 up to match number 56. After that, this weekend, we moved over to the quarterfinal matches, and that was match number 57, 58, 59, and 60. From quarterfinals, these are the games that are there. We've moved on to semi-finals, which is match number 61 and 62, Brazil versus Germany. That's a hot one, the biggest one for me. I'm sure many disappointments coming there. Netherlands versus Argentina. This one, I am not seeing it being as exciting as the first game. I think this one will be done in 90 minutes. That one might go into penalties to decide the winner. From match number 61 and 62, we will be moving on to match number 63, which will be the 3rd place playoff final. And match number 64 will be the final. Winner of 61, Brazil-Germany versus winner of 62, which is Netherlands and Argentina. The losers from those games will play for us match number 63, which is not on the video wall. It will be somewhere here. But for now, I hand you over back to the pitch. I think, Sidi, you've got some social media for us before we do that?
Yes, I do. One from Kiriyama, she says, Muli is in a Germany jersey to jinx it. Yes, she is, because she actually is a Brazil supporter, but she'll tell you more on that when she gets the time to talk. Now, Ibra Jason is saying, I am tuned into the show now, guys. Thank you. Albert loves the show. Another one from Mike, your favorite, Jeremiah. He says, Lillian, looking good with that German jersey. Awesome. And you've already opened the Pandora's box. I don't have a name, but this one is from 22422, and they're saying, Mike, I am begging for a German jersey. We're winning. It's 2-1. Football has taught me to love it and accept it to win. So, yes.
Okay, no problem with that. We'll see who wins at the end of the day.
Yes, we will.
Right, thank you,
Waika.
Mike and CD. And of course, the big story of the weekend was Neymar and his exit, premature exit from the World Cup. And he delivered a special message to the world on his feelings, on his thoughts after that incident where he got fouled rather, I don't even know what word to use, rather cruelly, if I could use such a word like that. So let's take a look at his message up next. Bona Director, if you can give us that.
Rapaziada brasileira, tanto jogadores, comissão técnica, torcedores.
Has not ended. My World Cup has not ended. It has been interrupted by a play, but the tournament goes on. And I told my teammates to do everything in order to help me achieve my dream to be world champion. My dream was to play at a World Cup final, but I'm certain my teammates will be champions. I will be there with them, and all Brazilians will soon be celebrating all of that. So there's Neymar. He's alive and well and kicking, and he says, don't worry, even if I don't play in this World Cup, I'm there to support Brazil. And of course, many are hoping that he'll be able to support Brazil tomorrow as they take on the mighty Germans. We'll be analyzing that injury. We'll be analyzing also the roughness of the Colombians, so to speak, and we have all the highlights when I'll be joined by Chris Okinda and also MC Jesse, I believe, both from Hot 96 to help me analyze some of those matches. But I'm going to hand you over to our guest anchor of the day, Lillian Muli. Over to you.
Right, and let's take a look at what else was happening. And hosts Brazil showed their pedigree Saturday with a hard-fought 2-1 win over stubborn Colombia. The win came at a price, though, as they lost their talisman, Neymar, for the rest of the World Cup.
Well, heartbreak there for Brazil, losing Neymar, but making it to the semi-finals. I really wonder, it's time that we see Brazil perform without their talisman. We want to see what they can do without Neymar. They've got options for that position, but are they up to the task? Would they carry the pressure that Neymar was carrying? Imagine he was out of the World Cup and he had to do a statement for the 200 million plus Brazilians, then the whole world, to just describe what he's feeling after that injury. He's out of the World Cup, too bad for him, but Brazil move on to the semi-finals, and this is where we started the journey with Brazil. In the round of 16, they beat Chile, and then they went to the quarterfinals after beating Chile. Quarterfinals, they met Colombia. They went through Colombia. This is where they are right now, and I'll be giving you all these permutations all through so that you know where they started. They are meeting Germany in the semi-finals. So Chile, match number 49, sorry. Then they met Colombia in match number 57, quarterfinals. Then semi-finals, they are meeting Germany. Those are the permutations. If you needed to see the path where they were, that is how they went. Wahiga.
Thank you, Michael King. And of course, the big talking point from that particular match is Neymar, what happened to him, and whether Zuniga, who fouled him, should get more than the punishment that he's received, if any, so to speak.
There's bound to be a lot of physicality. You saw that Nigeria used it very well when they were playing, was it Bosnia-Herzegovina? And it worked to their advantage. At some point, physicality has got to come in now. Should he get a stiffer penalty? I think if he did get a stiffer penalty, it's simply because it's Neymar that he has fouled.
It's that simple.
It's nothing really major. Football is bound to get physical at this level, and can remember yesterday Bastian Schweinsteiger was talking, and he was saying that the one thing they've got to be thinking about is the physicality of Brazil, because Scolari has brought this thing of hard tackles. Oscar is not going to be afraid to break your legs. Gustavo is going to come in hard. Fernandinho, I'm shocked that he's not even seen a red card in this World Cup. So both teams, every team coming into any fixture
moving forward
is going to be very, very physical, and that's to be expected.
But quick comment on this. I'm told that if that kick had been 2.3 centimeters higher than where it was, Neymar would be paralyzed as we speak. Does that mean, are you then allowed to do that because we are at a very physical point in the tournament?
But Wahiga, on the same, there's a guy alikuwa anasema kwamba, Neymar was saying, vile aligongwa hiyo backbone vizuri sana.
His vertebrae. Let me impress you, his vertebrae. Vertebrae.
That is, hiyo ni biological. Sasa vile alikanyangwa hapo, hakujifeel huku chini. Alikuwa anaambia mwenzake kina Luis, anawaambia hakuwa na feel huku chini. So imagine, hiyo ni kickboxing alichezewa tu hapo, akasikia namna hiyo. Ndio angesikia vibaya baadaye. But on the same note, what Chris is saying, that it's because it's Neymar. Unajua, and one thing I know about Neymar is he's a super diver. There was a clip that was doing around the social media, the difference between Messi and Neymar. Messi anashikwa, anaendelea. Neymar anaekeangwa mguu na dive mpaka wapi?
10 meters mbele.
If I may chime in, I'll take you back to a game between France and Nigeria. I mean, what Matuidi did to Onazi was terrible.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen Henry was given a red card.
On him.
Was it 2002?
Yes.
2002 for doing less. But then what Onazi actually, what Onazi received courtesy of Matuidi was horrendous. But then got a small caution, slap on the wrist, and they continue playing the game.
And again, Okinda, you have to give credit to the referees. It was so fast. Whatever Matuidi did, it was super quick, and the ball moved on so fast. The ref had no time. He had no replays, the same way the rest of us have replays. So give it to the referees. They are human. They didn't see it. Even you didn't see how nasty it was until the replay. And like you said, it's getting physical. Brazil got a taste of their own medicine from what happened to Neymar. And that one, don't even blame the midfielder, because eyes on the ball. They all went up, eyes on the ball. Only that the opponent went high.
They're football players, not basketball players. And so they're not trained to jump straight. They jump.
Whichever way they can.
And that's how Cristiano Ronaldo jumps. If you've seen him going for headers, when he can hang in the air. Because what you want to do is that you want to stay in the air as long as possible and hang there and get the ball.
Use your feet.
And basically, their knees are going to be sticking out. That's how it works.
Neymar alikuwa ameamuliwa, Chris. The thing is, even me,
that's what I've been trying to get across.
This guy, we must stop him.
If you looked at the previous attempts on Neymar, Chris Okinda, there definitely was an agenda. But Neymar also rolls a bit too quickly and too vigorously. And that, of course, calls for different questions. What's your take on that? Foul or no foul? What should happen to Zuniga? You let us know. 22422, hashtag Viva Brazil. On Facebook and Twitter, do you think you can analyze better than Chris Okinda or MC Jesse? Let us know your thoughts. We'll read as many of them as we can. But there were plenty of other matches this past weekend. Let's talk about the Dutch. Lillian, what do we have?
Thanks, Wahiga. And Netherlands also made it to the last four via the lottery after they failed to break down Costa Rica. Tim Krul came off the bench in the dying seconds to become the penalty shootout hero.
I've not said Van Persie.
You haven't even mentioned.
I've not even mentioned Van Persie. I'm saving the best for last. The proof of the pie is in the eating. But I think that Holland has played a very, very consistent game. But there's one thing, above all, that watching the Dutch has really showed me. And that this World Cup is very slowly becoming, we are not talking about 1998 where you had Zizou being the man, or 1986 where it was Diego Maradona. This World Cup is very fast becoming the World Cup of the managers. This is the World Cup of the coaches.
Although it had begun as the World Cup of the goalkeepers.
It has, exactly. But now we are starting to see, and what people are wondering, how come everything seems to be going according to script? You know, we saw some upsets, but then by the time again the quarterfinals, the fairy tales had to end. We had to get to the meat of it.
Does this, Jesse? Do you agree with that?
I
know you're a Chelsea
Netherlands,
fan.
Yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan, diehard. Netherlands walingangana sana. I think wao walingangana sana. Of all the games they played, I think this one ni kungangana. The rest they were playing very well. In fact, I liked it the way walikuwa wanacheza. I didn't like it because of Van Persie, because you know, kwa sababu huyo jamaa overrated.
Yes,
he's overrated.
Say how you really feel.
That's like Messi overrated.
Messi is not overrated. Sana kiasi.
Are the Dutch worthy of making it to the finals?
They will make it to the finals. To some extent, you know why?
What do you mean to some extent? You're either in the finals or you're not.
No. You're
either here in Viva Brazil,
why I'm
Jesse,
saying
or
that
you're
is
not.
because Argentina this time round hawajakuwa the best team of them all. Hata kama wamefika semis and all that, wacha niseme kuna ile kuangukia. But the Dutch is just a crazy team for Argentina. Okay. Vile Chris ameanalyze the forward itself, watachanganya watu sana. Whereas in Argentina, watakuwa tu wanangojea nani? Messi.
Although that could be their mistake, because Higuain could also come in as well. And of course a host of other players in Argentina who are hoping that since Messi is too marked to move, you can see sometimes even against the Nigeria game, 3 players on Messi. You might underestimate the other players.
But you know, we saw that prospect, Wahiga, and I remember coming into the game with Iran, Lionel Messi, he made an insufferable mistake when he actually went on a press conference and he dictated to the manager the kind of score that he wants to see up front. And he said, I want to sort of strikers. He was in the same pitch with Higuain, and Di Maria was in there as well, because he said he wants to see more options, and we just didn't see it. When it was time to put your foot to the metal, we just didn't see it. The biggest failing for Argentina for me
so far,
is Di Maria's injury.
Exactly. That takes them out.
Thank you. Out.
I hold you, Chris Okinda, on that note. Di Maria's injury at Kianda. Okinda.
Don't confuse me with that guy.
My goodness.
They are both fat.
Chris Okinda believes that is going to be the... I think they are both fat. That is MC Jesse's. I am going to hold you to that, and we're going to see how impactful that is even as we get into the semi-finals. But now, we've talked about Argentina. Let's take a look at their match as well. Lillian, what do you have for us?
That's funny. Argentina sailed through to the semis in the same manner they've been progressing in the tournament. A 1-0 win this time over Belgium. It could have been more, though, but they wasted numerous chances.
But of course, Argentina, I'm not one to brag, but I actually had the chance of watching them in Porto Alegre, and I was not impressed. And I have not been impressed. Michael Kini and Tom Buana, who are here previously, have told us that you estimated too much from the Argentinians, but they are still here. Look, they are still here. They haven't packed their bags. They're not going anywhere. They are still in the tournament, and they might progress that way until the finals. Your take on those two? I'll begin with Jesse right now.
Kuangukia unaweza angukia mpaka mwisho. Kuna watu wa bahati. Like for instance, the way they made it to the semi-finals. Hebu niambie, whether was that a classic goal? Ama ni kuangukia, ndio alifunga na ikapenya, si ndio? But how was the game in general? Tangwa kushtua.
Okinda is thinking. He's looking at the replay and he's thinking. What's going on in your mind, Chris?
Messi is very dangerous in the hole. Extremely dangerous. You know that little corridor right between the defenders and the midfield?
Yes.
And you'll find that Messi is always going to hover around that area. Why does he hover around that area? He hovers around that area because that's where he can make his dangerous runs. And if you foul him, they get a free kick in an area that's going to make you very vulnerable. He's very dangerous there. What you need to do is close him up before he gets there. Just stop the ball from getting to him. Or the moment he's getting the ball, he doesn't even have space to turn and run.
But closing him up means sacrificing more than one player. We're talking about 2 or 3.
Not necessarily.
How do you do it as the manager? Who will take
I'll
on
tell you,
Lionel Messi?
I've got to go to, if I go to the archives, Pirlo, the time facing Manchester United, his average passes per game was about 124. What they did was that they made sure that the ball just doesn't get to him. And of course,
so you cut off supply.
Yeah, Park was just there, just keeping him company. In fact, I think Park must have told him, boss, we're just going to chat throughout the whole game. And you cut the supply from him. But Messi is he's a crafty little devil, isn't he? Bradley. And I want you to look at that. I want you to take some time.
So he
would come from the right, and he'd make sure you see him coming from the right, because he'd call out your name and you'd look up to him, you're going to kick the penalty. Then he'd come to the center and come and intimidate you. Now, if he came in from the right, automatically, because it's a beautiful thing in psychology.
Yes.
When he came in from the right, automatically, you'd think you want to kick to the left, because that's where you've seen him coming from.
You've seen him coming from.
And he'd dive to the left, and that's how he was saving those things. And the next shot, he'd come in from the left and dive in the opposite direction. It was a beautiful thing, and he was trained by Van Gaal just how to do that.
I hope Kenyan Premier League coaches are monitoring that, because I think that's fantastic. Mind games is the way to go in football, and I think moving forward, everyone will have to use not just their skill, their tactic, their best players, but mind games to intimidate the opponents. The last game of the weekend, of course, let's take a look at the Germans. Divock Origi went home, but supporters of Germany, Michael Kini and the like, and I don't know if MC Jesse is a supporter of the Germans, but he has their jersey. They were happy. Let's take a look at that. Lillian, what do you have for us?
Right, I'm wearing a Germany jersey, but I'm not Team Germany. But let's take a look at what the Germans did, and they are in the last 4 for the 4th World Cup in a row. Germany subdued fancied France 1-0 to book a date with Brazil in the semis.
France, Germany. Kenyans watched that, looking especially at everything that happened in that particular match, but also your comments in regards to that. The Germans continue to power on. Your take on that, Chris Okinda?
First of all, let me start by saying that, and I want to tell all viewers right now watching Citizen TV, do not be given to the facade being painted for you by Lillian Muli, because I can tell you for certain, I grew up with Lillian in South Sea.
Yes.
And in the World Cup final of 1990, she was supporting West Germany against Argentina.
So this Brazil story,
it's rubbish.
She's looking for a trip.
It's utter rubbish.
She's looking for a free trip to Brazil.
Yes.
Lillian, we hear you're looking for a free trip. Watch out.
No comment.
Denied.
I'm not
It's over.
responding to those
Denied. She can't deny it. It's true. But we used to play football with her as a kid. She's a very hardy person. She was a tomboy, actually.
Wow.
Taught me how to ride a bike, she did. But
so these are Lillian's secrets, part 1. We're going to have part 2 after this. But the
Germans. The Germans, one thing that game showed me was just metal in the brain. I mean,
they're robots.
They've got, not really robots, I'm talking about the will. They've got this iron will.
The same thing, Jesse?
Yeah.
And you're wearing their jersey. You've got the Germans' jersey on.
Yeah, acha nikwambie, Germany wamepeleka the Berlin Wall. Brazil. Hakuna mchezo. Hakuna mchezo hapo.
Hakuna mchezo hapo.
Chris Okinda ni mzee wa kazi, tuko naye Hot 96. Amenifurahisha sana akisema Lillian Muli alimfunza kuride bike. Nao nikiangalia age ya Lilian na ya Chris. Nashindwa Lilian Muli ndiye mzee hivi ama Chris Okinda ndiye myangi hivi. Kama Lilian.
Chris Okinda, how old are you?
I'm turning 34 in December.
34 in December.
Yes.
So what does that tell you about Lilian's age?
Where?
Lilian.
Oh my God.
Right.
No.
You're not
That's just bad karma.
No, kikombe ni ya Germany. Kikombe sawa.
That always happens. That will always happen when we have Hot 96 in the studio.
Hot 96 are in our studio and we have chaos there. Let me tell you something. We're safe. We're safe and everyone's okay. We take a break. Everything's safe here, as you can see.
Yes, it's back because of the Dutch.
The joke was, well, you can remember the joke was when he started the World Cup, that this table is so delicate. One day, it will perform somersaults here.
Yeah.
This thing fell on my leg.
Prophecies.
But
That's
okay.
4 weeks.
You know what? It's because of the chaos that we have in studio. We have Chris Okinda, we have MC Jesse, we have Lilian. It's a mess up in here.
And we have allegations that are flying around. Chris, in my defense,
That you're older.
they say I'm way younger than you are.
Lilian Muli is extremely young.
Closing bite. Lilian Willie is very young.
Lilian Muli is
We
very
take a
young.
break. The madness continues after the break. You want to keep it right here. Keep it, citizens.